This is the Hasbro Haslab Ghostbusters Proton Pack. If you were like me, a kid growing up in the 80s and 90s, there's a very real chance that you wanted to be a Ghostbuster. Back then, and even now, Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 is one of my favourite films. And when I used to watch that film, I used to want to be a Ghostbuster. I used to dream about being a Ghostbuster. I used to want to have the Proton Pack and the gun and be able to shoot ghosts. And back in the 80s and 90s, there was a toy Proton Pack that you could put on your back. Now, it kind of didn't really look like it did in the films. It was a different colour. It also had this weird sort of pool noodle thing sticking out of it. But as part of the release of Ghostbusters Afterlife in 2021, Hasbro had decided to make a crowdfunded Proton Pack, which would mean that anyone like me growing up in the 80s and 90s could have one that looked like it did on the film. It was a crowdfunder, so you had to pay your money about a year and a half before the things actually got delivered, and if they hit a certain number of backers, they would make the product. If they didn't meet that number, then they wouldn't. The number of backers that they needed to hit was 7,000, and in the event, 20,000 people actually backed the pack. And it's here. So it's arrived, and in this box is the Hasbro Haslab Ghostbusters Proton Pack. So let's take a look inside. This is me realising a dream after, let's say, 30 years. Okay, so inside this box is another box. I don't know if you can see that saying, please open from bottom. Hang on, I'll be back. Okay, so I've got the first box off and now there's another cardboard box inside, and I'm pretty sure this isn't the last box, so I've got to take this one open now. So it says on there to not open from that side, so we're going to go open from the top instead. So we have something exciting inside. Okay, so here it is. It looks like it's meant to be a metal case. It's obviously not. This is cardboard. There's a sticker in the corner saying 14 plus. Bit offensive. What's inside? So in here, we've got the blueprints. I think, blueprints, it's an instruction manual that looks like blueprints. And then in here, just like in Ghostbusters Afterlife, there's a puzzle made out of the floorboards. So there's a slidey thing. I'm not sure what it's meant to be. Okay. So in here is, I think these are the mini puffs as they're known. So when they set up this crowdfunder, there were a load of goals that could be hit depending on how many people crowdfunded it, how many people backed the pack. And actually all the goals were hit. They smashed all of them with the 20,000 people. One of those goals was to get 4 of these little Stay Puffed marshmallow men with the burnt things on them. We have, phantasmical samples. This is, these are hanging bits of slime meant to hang off your Proton Pack on spooky evenings, Halloween, etc. I guess. Here we have it. Here it is, the Hasbro Ghostbusters Proton Pack. And it looks incredible. It looks just like they did in the films. It's the same size, it has the same knobbly bits on it and scratches and dents, and I'm amazed, genuinely. And in here we have all of the other accessories that came because so many people backed it. You can see in there there's a load of stickers that can go on there. This is for people that want to convert it from Afterlife style to 1984 Ghostbusters style, because the stickers on them are slightly different. Okay, so in here they are the stickers to put it into 1984 mode. So the idea being, if you want it to look like it did in 1984, they would have nice clean stickers on it and not the dirty stickers that are on the new one, on the Haslab pack. There's also something called Egon Spengler's journal. It's quite a small journal. And some general Ghostbusters stickers with the 4 guys, the Ecto-1, the Ghostbusters logo, Some Afterlife stuff on there too, so that's cool. And also there's a stand in there because they got the full, however many thousands of people it was. They said if you get that many people to back it, we will make you a stand and you will have a stand for this to go on. So that is here. Going by these blueprint instructions, I should be able to assemble the stand by taking this part and attaching a left leg onto it, which looks like it goes in here. Got to be honest, the stand was a little more metallic looking than it actually is in real life. As in, it still looks metallic, but yeah, it definitely doesn't feel it. Oh, no. It looks as if... But I can't work it out. I'm going to try the other end. And then I think I just need the last one. There we go. Right, so these had to be snapped on very, very hard, it turns out. Other leg goes on. I don't know if these will ever come off again. It feels like it's gone in very, very stiff. There we go. There you go. There we go. Okay, so the stand, that was exhausting. The stand is now on. Then I have to put this top bit on, which, by the looks of things, goes on here with a similar snappy motion. Okay, there we go. There we go. So it looks like it needs a firm snap in almost. It sounds like it's going to crack, but it's that's how they've machined it. I don't ever want to have to take this apart now because those plastic lugs are in there pretty tight. So that means that now we can put this up on the stand in theory. So, will it just sit in there? Oh, okay. It will. Now I should say there are kind of backpack things on this. There are straps, there's a waist belt thing. There's all kinds of stuff going on in the back. So you want to be quite careful about how you place it in there, but I think that'll do for now. So in here, there is a hose to connect to a neutrino wand, particle thrower, ghost zapper, and there it is. This is a piece I actually forgot about. This is called the ion arm, and it's a metal arm that sort of sticks up around this area. So I think that's going to just snap on. That is just a push-on operation. So there are some more things that I need to do. One is put the batteries in. The battery compartment isn't this one on the side. The battery compartment is on the back. So we've got to unscrew this. I hate it when battery compartments have to be unscrewed, because if you're somewhere where that's not easily doable, you haven't got a screwdriver, then, well, you're kind of a bit stuck, aren't you? So, guessing I'm not going to be busting too many ghosts with this thing, so I should be all right. How long is it since you've seen a D battery? They do still exist. So, what I also need for this is a neutrino wand. Now, I just happen to have one. So, this is a Ghostbusters neutrino wand. And the instructions say to unscrew this bit, then put this bit in, which has to be lined up in a certain way. Screw it back on. That hooks in up here. There it is. And that stays there. And then this bit goes in there, I think. With it off the stand, it's a bit easier to work out to get into the side. And then once this is on, I'll be able to put it back on the stand a bit straighter. So screwing this on and put it back on the stand, and that's that. So this is it after 30, 40 years of waiting, and a year and a half since buying this thing. Gonna see if it works. Here goes. Oh wow. And that is it. It is now working. So up here is a volume control, I believe. So that'll make it louder or quieter. So it can go silent. And it can be made louder. Okay, so I'm going to turn that volume down. With it now up and running, we can see the LEDs of the cyclotron are spinning around, and the LEDs up on the side here are going up and down, or up. And yeah, it's everything they said it would be. Feels good, feels solid, and there are a few options. So this currently is in Afterlife mode, and if you watch the old Ghostbusters films, the lights are going blink, 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 blink. So that can be changed. So if we take this kind of ribbon cable off the side, it's got like a kind of alarm film. So you can completely remove this, and it says in the instructions that you can do that as well. What I'm going to do though is uncover this front part. So this is called this thing's called the bumper, I believe. No, this bit's called the shock mount, I believe. This thing across here is called the bumper. This is the cyclotron. Probably got that wrong. So we unscrew this thing, take it off, I think. Unscrewed that part. This now, here we go. So with the top off, what you see are all of these parts that were in the new Afterlife film. In that film, they opened up the inside and you got to see what was going on in there. So all of that is in there, but it also reveals some switches that let us change the mode. So this currently is in Afterlife mode. If we put it in classic mode, it should be like Ghostbusters 84, and it's just made a sound to tell me that I've done that. And then the other one is the rumble, or the motor. So you might have heard a kind of vibration sound when that was on. So I can leave that on or turn it off. If I turn that off for now, there's also in here these things that are called CRT emitters that you can basically just unscrew, like little tubes or valves. Yeah, so that now should be in 84 mode. So if I put this front thing back on, and it's quite nice, I've actually been able to keep these cables attached while I did this, but it does say in the instructions that you can take these two off, again, presumably for looks purposes, to make it look like the old films. This sits back on here, and then this thing should, if I've done it right, screw back on and tighten everything up. Yes, it has done, with a satisfying click as well. So now, when I turn it on, it should now be in 1984 mode. Let's give that a go. Oh, yes. So the alarm's sounding because I've not plugged that ribbon cable back in. So let's try that. Take two. So now that's plugged back in, it should now be working in 1984 mode. Let's see what happens. And there we go. And now we've got the slow pulse of light from the 1984, 1989 films in classic mode. And that I think might be what I'd go for, but it's nice to have the option. So I guess I better try it on, hadn't I? So there are these straps in the back, like a backpack. Okay, so it seems to fit. I seem to look kind of like a Ghostbuster. Okay, so I am told that I can actually start this up by using the wand as well. I don't have to switch it on separately. So just like in the films, I can take the gun, point it at a ghost, and it should start everything running. Let's see if that works. It's doing it. And yeah, that is it. So this is the Hasbro Haslab Ghostbusters Proton Pack.